This is Audible.
An Unexpected Everything. Book 2 in the Cage Brothers series. Written by Carrie Ann Ryan. Narrated by Emma Wilder and Teddy Hamilton.
Chapter 1. Weston. Every time I drive, I hear a whomping sound. I think it's the rear axle. It has to be. I looked it up on this one website. They were very informative. They even told me about that special air I need for the tires. You know, the one I told you about last time? And how I need to change my filter every month. So I think I need a whole new rear axle and thingy. She then proceeded to make the whomping sound her car currently made, complete with hand motions. I nodded along as Deidre continued to talk about her sedan's apparent rear axle problems. She had multiple notes on her phone, as well as various links to random websites since she'd done her research. And since Deidre had babysat me as a kid, and I'd had a crush on her when I was 8, it hurt me to hold back the biting words such as, her car didn't have a rear axle, and that I hadn't charged her to put air in her tires, special or not. I've got your notes, Deidre. Thank you for all of your hard work. Now let me go take a look. Your car is in my team's hands, I promise. Oh, Weston, you're the sweetest. Drew told me he'd get to it when he finished his big project, but he's been so busy. Her eyes tightened at the sides. I fisted my hands, doing my best not to show any other reaction. Drew barely worked on his construction crew for some of the new builds in town, and when he wasn't working, he was drinking. The lake bar wouldn't let him run a tab anymore, and that place was the only so-called seedy area of Cage Lake. I wasn't even sure if Drew remembered the names of 2 of the 5 of his kids. The kids who either hung out with my kids, or my kids watched hers when Deidre couldn't get Drew to take care of them on his own. I wasn't surprised Drew hadn't had a chance to look at the tires, and frankly, if the man touched this car, then it would most likely end up with a worse issue later. Not that I'd tell Deidre that. I grunted in response to Drew's name, not in the mood to speak about him, then looked down at her notes. You popped 2 of your tires? I looked up at her, confused. Hell, how did that happen? Visions of exactly how she could have done that slammed into me, and a sweat nearly broke out on my forehead. Yes, Deidre bit her lip when I looked up. I went off the road on the bridge. I mean, after it, but I slid on the bridge itself. Regret covered her face and my heart kicked that familiar beat, but I ignored it. I'm glad you didn't get hurt. Kids okay? Relief that I didn't want to go into detail or that I didn't react to her perceived slip-up covered her features, and she nodded. Yes, thankfully. And then, we should have come here right after it happened, but Drew said he'd handle it. He got a good deal on the replacement tires and took care of it himself. I held back a curse and nodded, having a clearer idea as to what the issue was with her car, because Drew was a damn idiot and hadn't put the tires on correctly. She's lucky she hadn't been run off the road again, this time hurting herself or someone else. I'll take care of it, Dee. Thank you, Weston. Just thank you. I turned at the pleading in her eyes and made my way back to the shop. She was never going to leave Drew in his wasteful ways, no matter how hard people in our small town tried. After all, Cage Lake was all about that small town feel. People got into their business and tried to do what was best for others, even if that meant constantly being in the way or taking steps that could make things worse. They ignored the ugly sides of things, though, and I was pretty sure most people forgot that key detail. I owned the only mechanic shop in the area, so people from town and a few towns over would come to me for help, meaning this family-run place always had business. My uncles had opened the place, and it taught me everything I knew. Dad had been the small-town lawyer with Mom working with him, but he'd stood by my side when I wanted to learn how to hold a wrench, and then later when college had called my name, at least until the world changed. Caldwell's was a staple in Cage Lake, much like many of the places that dotted the town but actually brought in tourists. Cage Lake was a small town in the Rocky Mountains, a couple hours west of Denver. It had nearly everything someone needed to stay and never leave. Not that I hadn't tried. There was one main road leading to the town and 2 large bridges that connected area to other towns and the main highway that cut through the Rockies.